So, hello and welcome, everyone. Take your time to settle in. We have people joining from Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube as usual. Um, I'm sure people will trickle in as we get going. But in the meantime, feel free to let me know in the comments or the chat section where you're joining from, what part of the world you're in. For those I haven't met, my name is Gillian. I work with Sean through Mindfulness Exercises, and I lead these meditations every Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific. Our colleague Sarah May leads a live meditation and Q&A on Mondays at 8 a.m. Pacific. And they're really a great opportunity to meditate together, to share our practice, to ask questions, and feel a sense of community, like we're not alone in our practice. So again, please let me know where you're joining from physically in the world. It tends to be that most people join in through LinkedIn, but again, there are usually some people joining us through YouTube and Facebook as well. And I am based in Sweden at the moment, though I'm from Toronto, Canada. There's usually a few people from Ontario that join these calls, interestingly enough. So Monique says, is here from Las Vegas. Alpana says, good evening from India. Yeah, it's evening for me here as well in Sweden. Adriana says, hello from Uruguay. Legia, I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce your name correctly, is joining us from Florida on LinkedIn. Catriona from Dublin, Ireland, good evening to you as well. Kyla is joining on YouTube from Crow's Nest Pass, Alberta, Canada. Hello to my fellow Canadian. Kathleen or Kat says, good day from Boston. Ashley, I think is Pennsylvania. Tiara is here from Arizona. Rita says, good morning all, joining from Oklahoma. Chaloon says, hello from Mauritius. Victoria is joining us from Mexico. We have a LinkedIn user, I can't see your name, but joining in from Paris. Lesbia, I am from Lost WK. I'm not sure where that is, but welcome. Oh, Los Angeles, thank you. Giselle is here from Gibraltar. Hello, Nitin, joining us from India. Debbie, another person joining us from Dublin. Hello, two from Dublin tonight. Caitlin is in Colorado. Shri is also in Colorado. Kathy from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Welcome, Kathy. Halifax is a very close place in my heart. My sister lives in Halifax, and I would love to move to Nova Scotia one day. We'll see. Hello, Narmada. I'm not sure if you're the Narmada who joins us in the community, but hello, whether you are or aren't, here from Pittsburgh. Cynthia from Los Angeles, Dr. Shari from California, Ophelia from Dallas, Glendalee from Las Vegas, Vasil, hello from Bulgaria, Caitlin, namaste from outside Houston, Renee in Georgia. So welcome everyone so much. Thank you for being here. It's always lovely. I see a lot of familiar names, some new ones as well. Namaste, Renee. Yeah, thank you for joining. As you probably know through the title of this scheduled live, this practice will be focusing on cultivating gratitude. There seems to be a lot in the world going on that can weigh us down, that can feel challenging or negative, or just be very difficult to move through. And perhaps that's how life is, it's a whole mixture of things. But it does feel the past few years have been very difficult with a lot going on, a lot of huge changes happening in the world in all sorts of ways. Um, and yet, amidst that, we can take pause to sense into what is we are blessed with, what is going well, what supports us, what nourishes us, what um, brings us peace and joy and stability and contentment. And through cultivating gratitude, we can expand our perspective so that we're better able to hold a broader view of ourselves, of others, of the world. So for me, gratitude practice really helps to open my perspective in that way, and helps to bring balance, especially when I'm feeling heavy or going through some kind of difficulty. Hello, Susan, another one joining from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Welcome. So let's settle right into it. And hello, Cherish. Stanley, welcome. So this practice will probably be 15 to 20 minutes or so. And afterwards, I'll be here for another half hour or up to an hour in total, including the beginning of this practice. And after the guided meditation, I would love to hear how you experienced it, what came up for you, what you resonated with, if there were particular words or prompts, things that you felt this natural sense of gratitude arise for. So you don't have to worry about that yet. We'll get to that at the end of the practice, but I would love to hear from you afterwards to hear how you experienced it. But let's just begin by finding that comfortable position that will support you through this practice. And you can be seated or standing or lying down, so long as you can remain present, awake and aware through this practice. Making any adjustments to your physical posture that you might need for increased openness or comfort. You can gently close your eyes when you feel ready, or just lower your gaze towards the floor. And maybe just beginning this practice by giving yourself permission to be here, giving yourself permission to open to the good. And setting aside ideas about the day ahead of you, just allowing yourself to be here now. Just take a moment to feel into your connection with the earth being anything that is physically supporting your body. So maybe feeling the ground beneath your feet, the chair or bench or bed, beneath your bottom, your legs, your back. Just feeling that you are physically supported in this moment and through this practice. And seeing if you can begin this gratitude practice by feeling appreciation for the space that is physically holding you. Not because it is a certain way, but just because it is here and it is holding you. Whether it's an office chair, your bed, or your lawn, or some other place. Just feeling into its support and its stability in this very moment. Softening into it and welcoming a sense of appreciation for this earth. And then drawing your awareness up from the earth and towards the place where the breath enters and exits your body. Just noticing this rhythmic flow of life as it enters you and as it departs. You're not trying to change the breath in any way, just honoring its flow exactly as it is in this moment. Letting each breath tether you to the here and now. And as you breathe, you might consider the fact that each breath is a gift and an exchange. As you inhale, you receive fresh oxygen from this planet. As you exhale, you give back to the plant life that lives on this earth. Can you open your heart to gratitude for being a part of this dance of life? For being supported by the air and the earth in this way? Really opening to a sense of being nourished with each and every breath that you take. And expanding gratitude to your body for knowing what to do with the air that you breathe in. Expanding your gratitude for this wise body and all of its innate, intelligent processes that function without you having to actively do anything. Really sensing into appreciation for this body, for all the ways that it supports you, for its wisdom, for its presence. And then maybe allowing your awareness to expand a little bit wider than this present moment. So maybe expanding or stretching out to include the past hour or two of your day. And we'll all have shown up here having experienced something unique in the past hour or two. Maybe there were challenges. Maybe it was peaceful. But amidst whatever was present for you, what supported you in the past hour or two prior to us sitting here together? Maybe a meal or a person, the roof over your head, electricity, your breath. So opening your heart to gratitude for whatever supported you in the moments that led up to this one. Maybe an inner resource such as courage or commitment or faith or love. And expanding your awareness to encompass this period of your life, generally speaking. What about the life phase that you are in can you be grateful for? If there are challenges in your life at this time, what can you be grateful for amidst these challenges? Sensing into whatever supports you, whatever comes to mind, as you open your heart to the beauty of your life at this time. Knowing that even when it's difficult to find something to appreciate, there is the earth beneath us and the air that breathes us. And then wherever your awareness is, just inviting it back into the breath. Sensing once again that nourishment of the breath as it enters your body. Maybe releasing a soft sigh on your next out breath. And sensing into the seat or floor or ground beneath you. Maybe thanking the earth for holding you throughout this practice. And in your own time, slowly opening your eyes whenever you're ready. So, welcome back, everyone. Take your time to slowly ground back into the space that's holding you and into your visual sense of this space. And as you slowly come back, I would love to hear how this practice landed with you today. What your relationship to gratitude felt like today. Was it challenging? Was it effortless? Was it somewhere in between? And I'd also love to know if there's an expression of gratitude you'd like to share. So, was there something that you felt particularly appreciative of? Um, be it the breath, be it some aspect of your life at this time, be it your breakfast or your lunch or your dinner, anything at all. If there was something that stood out for you, or if there was a few things that stood out for you, feel free to share. Um, I would love to read, and also if you had any questions about that practice, um, I'd be happy to answer those as well. Um, but in the meantime, hello to everybody who joined us. From Turkey, Iran, Venezuela, Poland, Ethiopia, India, Austin, Texas, Belgium. So someone on LinkedIn said, thank you, that was nice, wonderful, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Um, Glenda Lee said, thank you, this was effortless and a perfect break in my workday. Wonderful, I'm so glad, that you took this time in the midst of your workday. I tend to practice in the mornings or the evenings, but I formally, but I think it's such a beautiful practice just to take pause, whether it's gratitude or mindful breathing or body scan or whatever it might be, but just taking that pause in the midst of your day. We can get so caught up in what we have to do in our role in the workplace, that it can be nice just to reset our energy and then notice how that impacts the way that we move forward in our day. So I'm glad that you took this time to yourself. Um, um, Kita said challenging with the painful world circumstances. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, as I'm not sure if you were here in the beginning of this practice, but um, I talked a bit about the fact that there's so much going on in the world right now. And sorry, I might have to sneeze. Excuse me. Um, there's so much going on in the world right now, and it can be really difficult to tune into the good or the positive or the pleasant. Um, and it can be hard to hold those two things at the same time. Um, I was actually thinking about this today, this how the world is many things all at once. Sometimes it's chaos, or in one way it's chaos, and it can feel maddening and upsetting and um, bring up all of these very difficult feelings. And then at the same time, there is a lot of beauty and good in the world. Um, and so it can be really difficult to hold those polar ends of this world at the same time. Um, I think it's important to remember with gratitude practice is we're not here to act like everything is fine and act like everything is perfect and beautiful and light and happy, but to see what we can expand and open our awareness to. Um, one of my favorite, or perhaps the most impactful times for me when I practice gratitude are during those moments when I am overwhelmed or anxious or awake in the middle of the night. And I might not do a formal practice such as this, but I tend to, when I am able to pause and recognize the emotions that are present within me and contributing to the overwhelm and the heaviness or the anxiety, to just sense into my experience and to see if there's one thing I can be grateful for in that moment. In the middle of the night, it's that felt sense of the bed beneath me or the pillow beneath my head. Um, it could be the breath. It could be the sound of your partner breathing next to you, or the sound of the dog snoring on the floor. But yeah, it can be hard to reconcile the pain and suffering in this world with gratitude, which is why I think it also helps to start with the present moment. Like, what can we sense into right here and now? And when we build that capacity to notice here and now in this moment, what can we be grateful for? Then seeing if we can slowly expand out from there. So that's how I tend to start with gratitude practice, starting with this present moment and opening up slowly and gently over time. But thank you for sharing that, Kita. Narmada said, perspective of the difficult times is change in a positive manner, feeling peace. Wonderful. Yeah, so I think that also speaks to what I was just talking about. Since gratitude really is not about forcing ourselves to see things in a positive light or thinking positive thoughts, but that word perspective to me says it all. It's about broadening our perspective and opening up to what else is here. And opening to the paradoxes of life, and the opposites that coexist at the same time, and seeing if we can find balance in the way that we perceive the world. So thank you for sharing that. Hello to the LinkedIn user joining us from Rwanda. Chair said, "Thank you, Gillian. What a lovely practice. Gratitude is a gift that keeps on giving. During breaks of silence, I whispered thank you to the earth, air, body, and to the creatures I witnessed earlier." That's wonderful. Yeah, and I think what you touched on, which I didn't include too much in this practice, is that active expression of gratitude. Um, I invited us at the end to say thank you to the earth, for holding us and supporting us. But there's research that shows that not only is feeling gratitude, not only does feeling gratitude have a positive impact on our well-being, but actually expressing it, specifically through letter writing, can also have an impact that lasts for months. And so I think it's important to explore, or helpful to explore, like, how can we expand this practice beyond just feeling the gratitude? Can we say thank you either through our thoughts or through writing, if it's to a person, through our actions? Can we show appreciation, let's say, to the earth by planting more seeds, by shopping in a different way, by being more mindful of what we consume and how we walk upon the earth? So getting curious about how we can express our gratitude, be it in words to a person or in these more subtle ways, such as through thought and intention and action. So thank you for sharing that, Cherish. Lesbia said, "Thanks, Monique, to help me to take time for myself. I feel comfortable and confident to keep my peace." Beautiful. That's wonderful. Yeah, I think it's so important just to give ourselves this time. And gratitude really is an act of self-care, and it impacts how we show up in the world and how we engage with others as well. So it's a gift to ourselves and to others. So I'm glad that you feel more comfortable and confident in your ability to hold peace. It's again interesting and really telling how much a practice like this, or any type of practice that nourishes us in this way, just how powerful it is to broaden our perspective and to place our attention on things that ground or uplift or soothe or expand our awareness. And it really helps us to become more aware of the power that we ourselves hold to create our experience ultimately. Just taking this time to meditate through whatever type of practice you feel most drawn to, or maybe through a variety of practices at different times. But it can really empower us to recognize that we have the power to shift how we feel and how we show up and how we relate to things. And I want to emphasize that this is not about, getting to a place of feeling happy all the time, or, expecting that our practice is going to make us feel good. or happy or confident or whatever it might be. That often comes through practice, but also sometimes our practice can weigh us down, can make us aware of difficult feelings or thoughts or sensations. But that's part of the journey as well. And I do believe that, so long as we're practicing within our window of tolerance, being mindful of our limits, taking care of ourselves, this is how we grow and this is how we develop resilience, even if we have practices that feel challenging at times. But as we keep practicing, we realize and we start to really experience how empowered we are to show up in the world, and for ourselves in a way that nourishes us and nourishes others. So I'm glad that you had that positive experience today, Lesbia. Lagia said, grateful my sister's here after 4 years without seeing her. Grateful for my health as I work with many that are battling to live one more day. I've been grateful for that. What a lovely expression. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah. Yeah, seeing the difficulties in life and the challenges that others go through can really help us to get a sense of perspective about our own experience, our own health, and all that we have to be grateful for. So thank you for working with people in that way as well. And I can also relate. I saw my sister. It hadn't been 4 years, I think 2.5 years that I had seen her. And my parents, well, it hadn't been that long, but I saw them in the past few months, and the gratitude for the in-person time that I felt was beautiful. So I know what it's like to be separated from family and not able to see them, and how beautiful that is to get that chance to reconnect. So I'm very happy for you. Kathleen said, I lost the connection to the visual, but I wanted to say thank you so much for the beautiful meditation. Initially, I felt like I needed to get up and move and do something. My body was not comfortable in stillness, but as I listened to the rhythmic sound of your voice, I felt myself easing back into my soul. Thank you for that. It's so wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm really glad to hear that my voice and guidance supported you in that way, and that you were able to sit through it and watch the way that your experience changed. Some days are easier than others. Some days there's energy going on in our bodies that resist or don't want to sit in this more still practice. And so I'm glad that you rode those waves and explored what else came up for you. So thank you so much for joining, Kat. And Glenda Lee said, in the midst of world pain and so much hatred, I'm grateful to have a community of people focused on love, light, and ascension in order to make the world a better place. Let us not ever give up. Beautiful, beautiful reflection, Glenda Lee. Thank you so much for sharing it. It makes me think about my own reflection on this paradox that I was thinking about the other day, which is, I can simultaneously feel so weighed down by what I see happening in the world. I can see or perceive a very negative path that the world might be heading down. And yet at the same time, I sense such beauty and such deep inquiry and wisdom and growth arising in people. I'm having conversations with people that I that I never would have experienced before. I feel like the past few years has really like um, been a catalyst for growth and inquiry and transformation. And I do see so many people looking to make this world a more beautiful place. And so again, it's that paradox. And can we be able to hold the paradox and not become weighed down or sucked in by what feels heavy and painful and difficult? Um, and can we consciously put some of our attention on what's going well, and what is beautiful and what we can do? And I love that. Let us not ever give up. Yeah. Like, can we hold on to that vision of what we want to create, of what we want to see in the world? That is what will get us through ultimately. Um, yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Um, yeah, thank you to all of you. Nitin said, meditation original, come from where? Well, this practice that I led, gratitude practice, is very common practice, but this specific, the way I led it, I just led it as it sort of came out. I'm not sure if that answers your question, but you said good night. It's 10:15 in India. Ligia said, thank you. Hope you can reconnect with your sister soon. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I don't know if I clarified that, but she did come here to visit in April. So I did have that chance and it was beautiful. But hopefully I can connect with her again soon. It's one of the challenges of living across the ocean, especially amidst pandemic and restrictions and all of that. But yeah, if there's any other questions, feel free to share them. And I really hope that this practice was supportive for you and maybe expanded for some your sense of awareness of what you can feel grateful for. I find it's a beautiful practice to tune into this period of our life and to explore the gifts of this time in our life. At the moment, I am about 8 months pregnant, and as I was leading the practice, I felt this gratitude for this new journey into motherhood, aware that it will bring challenges and difficulties, but also aware of the fact that it'll bring many gifts and growth, literally, and in terms of my maturity and broader awareness. Thank you, Cherish. Yeah, and so, I guess maybe one thing just to leave you with as we close this practice and this discussion, and thank you everyone so much for all that you've shared. I think you may read, is just to find little pockets in your day where you can tune into what is nourishing and what is good and what supports you. Gratitude practice doesn't have to be 20 minutes long or beyond. It can be a mindful pause. It can be appreciating the view beyond the window. It can be, saying thanks before we take that first bite of a meal and appreciating where that food came from. It can be broadening our perspective on things that we might judge. For instance, I have a love-hate relationship with social media and technology and my phone. Um, and more often it causes me frustration than the positive. So this is a reminder for me as well to recognize that not being able to see my family for um, 2 or 3 years, this technology that I struggle with at times is also such a blessing to help me stay connected and to connect with all of you. We wouldn't be meditating together without it. So yeah, just the invitation is just to get curious about where in our lives we can tune in with gratitude or expand our awareness when things feel difficult. And thank you, Dr. Sherry. And hello, Itisham from Canada. So thank you so much again, everyone, for joining. If you want to meditate with me this weekend, I will be facilitating. I'm just going to find the link here if anyone's interested. I'll be co-facilitating the mindfulness retreat this weekend through Mindfulness Exercises. It's an online retreat on Saturday and Sunday. Let me just get the link in LinkedIn as well. So I'll be leading a few sessions, and I'll be in the background for a few sessions as well. Maybe I'm not sure if anyone here is already signed up. I'd love to know if you are, so I can keep my eye out for you on Zoom. But yeah, that's a 2-day retreat. You can join for whatever sessions you're able to attend. And if I don't see you there, then hopefully I'll see you in the coming weeks on these Thursdays for these calls. I have about another month or so before I go on maternity leave, so I'll be here for another probably 4 weeks at least. I have to double count the weeks. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining, for sharing your practice. Hello, Gabrielle. If you joined in late, or if you want to come back to this practice, it will be posted and remain on the channel that you're viewing it on, be that Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube. So yeah, once again, thank you. It's lovely to share this space and this practice with you, and I hope to connect with you at some other point, some other time or space. So take care, everyone. Wishing you a beautiful, grateful day.